Hi, welcome to my channel, Life with Annalise. Today I'm going to take you on a tour to Succulent Gardens in Watsonville, California. When we first arrived, we saw this display with an old beat-up, bright orange color Volkswagen filled with succulents. All kinds of variety. You can probably spend 10 minutes just looking through all the succulents that was planted in this car. You have tons of Ionium, so many varieties of Echeverias, Agaves. I don't think there was any space in this car that didn't have succulents. And it's very interesting because I'm pretty sure there's lots of space in here that doesn't get sun, but as you can see, it's filled with succulents that are healthy and thriving. We arrived here on a rainy day, probably not the best day to make our trip out here. It's 40 minutes drive from our home, but after we were done, I felt like it was such a trip that was worthwhile for us. After this trip, we actually head out to Moss Landing for the kids to play, and it was just such a fun-filled day for us. I really did feel like it was just heaven here. Massive, massive property that, they had this succulent farm on, both indoor and outdoor. I was actually feeling a little bit overwhelmed at how am I going to record all this and display or show to you guys how big this farm is. So much so that, I have to apologize. I'm going really fast. I didn't even have time to reset my camera according to the weather, so there is blurriness, but I hope that you can see from my video how big this place is and all the variety and large stock of succulents that they have here. I really do highly recommend that you guys make this a visit. Those are ghost plants. Fred Ives, both very easy, no fuss plants. Aeonium Sunburst. They're just such a pretty color, tricolor of pink tones, yellow and green. And they grow fairly large. Mardi Gras. This type of Ionium, the color is very vibrant. It has stole my heart recently. If you watch my other video, my haul, I bought probably about 6 of them and have already planted them down in the ground. They are winter growers, so hopefully they're going to thrive this winter, because once the warm weather comes, they're going to go into dormancy. They are monocarpic, so once they bloom, they will die. But before then, you will get a lot of pups. Oh gosh, look at this pink one. I don't know the name, but it's just so gorgeous. I picked up one. Lola. There are many Lolas. And this is my favorite section. Well, one of my favorite sections. These are Moonstones. There's this The color is just so pretty, blush pink with a lot of bruising of pink and purple. They're just so chubby and delicious looking. You just want to take a bite out of them. I bought 3 of these, and it took a lot of control for me to put back a few. I think I initially had about 10 in my cart. But I figure, you know, I gotta pace myself and give myself a reason to come back out here. Moonstones are a must-have. Black Prince. I know there are many people that like Black Prince. So it is available here. I think this place, they've got succulents and cactus for everyone. Greenovia Mountain Rose. They also had it in 4-inch pots that you're going to see soon in the video. I think the size of them, it could have been potted in a 2-inch pot, but it's in a 4-inch. I didn't get any just because if I were to buy Greenovia Mountain Rose, I would buy it in cluster. I think those were bunny ear cactus. These are Afterglow. This section is $12.99 for 6-inch pots. I didn't get any of these. Some of them I already have. I think you'll get a lot of value for your money out here. I saw succulents having multiple heads that you can separate. Now this section here, they're 2-inch pots and they're not for sale. They're cuttings where it's waiting to be rooted. And once it gets rooted, they will move it onto the for sale table. But I wanted to venture out this way and show you guys what you guys can anticipate in the future. Look at that. Rows and rows of cuttings. Colors are just so pretty. These are some Black Prince cuttings. Again. They'll never be out of stock. These are really pretty lavender hue Echeverias. Now this is the area where they pot succulent arrangements in terracotta containers. I saw that it ranged anywhere between 45 to upwards of like 100 and something for an arrangement. Now this is quite interesting. I saw, while walking through here, I saw some succulents that were growing under the table, and my guess is while they were potting some of the cuttings probably fell down onto the ground and just grew from there. But, you know, that kind of tells you how resilient these succulents are. They grow in any condition. I'll make another video detailing why you want to plant succulents in terracotta pots and its benefits. So stay tuned for that. These are 2-inch potted succulents. I believe they were $3 each. They had a lot of purple pearl. I grabbed one. They also had PVNs. And this is where I met an Etsy business owner, Queen of Succulents. If you guys are interested in purchasing succulents, I would highly recommend them. They seem to have really good taste in succulents. Their cart was filled with purples and pinks succulent. Really nice people. You can tell that these plants just got watered in the morning. You can see the raindrops, or sorry, water drops right in the center. I wouldn't leave the water sitting at the center of the Echeveria just because they can get root rot from that. Sorry for the blurriness, you guys. Lots of hanging string of pearls. And here we've got gallons of Afterglow. They are pretty good size and they were healthy. $25 isn't bad for these Afterglow. They really do glow in the sun. I have 2 of these. All right, moving on to outside. These are Lavender Steps. Lots of varieties of Ioniums that were grown in the ground, and you can see that they are getting all the space that they need and sun. Look at the size of them. And like I mentioned earlier in the video, they're monocarpic. So they will die. You see the bloom right there? They will die after they bloom, but before that, you'll have lots of pups. Large, large agaves. They are pretty to look at, but they get fairly large and they're pointy. So I only own one agave, which is Blue Glow, and I probably won't be buying any more just because I have kids in the backyard and I just don't want them to hurt themselves. These Ioniums have gorgeous variegation on them. I have an Ionium that is similar to that, where half of it is all yellow, and they would sprout some babies around that area, and the babies are solid yellow. Now, I made a mistake of cutting it off of mom and putting it onto the ground. It didn't survive. They don't have enough chlorophyll, so it ended up just dying off. All right, this area, it's pretty quaint. Um, they repurposed some pallets here and lined it at the bottom with mesh. It looks like they just put cuttings in there. I think I am going to do a DIY of one of these palettes. Alright, you guys, I'm going to wrap up this video. I hope you have enjoyed it, and I do highly recommend that if you're in the area, come out and visit this succulent garden. I will make a follow-up video sharing my haul from this trip, so stay tuned for that, and let's stay connected.